today finds me in the little town of Westwood. There's Paul Bunyan's Blue Ox, and behind me is Paul Bunyan. I'll get a better shot of him in a minute. Dave and I are going to do the Bizz Johnson Trail, which is a Rails to Trails. We're in Westwood and we're heading to Susanville. It's about 25 miles. It follows the old Fernley and Lassen railway line, which was used to take logs and lumber to and from the Westwood mill here. It opened in 1914 and the mill shut down in the 50s, and then the railroad officially closed that line in, I think it was 1978. But it's supposed to start out through some beautiful forest, and then it's going to wind along the Susan River into Susanville. It should be a gorgeous ride. The day is just beautiful, not a single cloud in the sky. And as promised, here's more of the big guy, Paul Bunyan. And Babe. So here I am, still right next to Paul Bunyan actually, but there's a sign that talks about the Bizz Johnson Trail, so I thought I would go ahead and check it out. It has some information on it. It has the map, which I have saved on my phone. And I am really excited to get out there on the trail. All right, we're just starting our ride. We parked by the Paul Bunyan at the community center in Westwood. And while that is considered a possible starting point, we're actually not on the trail. I think we're about 3 miles from the trail. So we are going to cruise through the rest of Westwood here and find that trail. All right, we've come half a mile since the Paul Bunyan, and we just made a right at the stop sign. I should have checked the name of this street. We're supposed to go down this a couple miles, cross the highway, and then find our trail. Cross this railroad. I'm at 1.17. We just crossed the highway and we can see a sign that says Bizz Johnson Trail 3 miles ahead. All right, we're almost to the railroad crossing, and at 4.02, I think, we've got to this dirt road that's called the Mason Trailhead. I think it's longer than that. Mason something Trailhead, I'll let you know in a minute. And this is going to be the official start up here of the Bizz Johnson Rails to Trail. And we are at the Mason Station Trailhead of the Bizz Johnson Trail. So we're about to hop on it and not see another car till Susanville. There is a restroom at the Mason Station Trailhead, should you need one. And then the trail starts out as this nice gravel road going through the forest. Here's a recognizable rail line that we're getting on now, and right next to us, parallel, is a working rail line. Just a little over 5 miles, and the fire definitely came through here. There's tons of grasshoppers. We're just over 6.5 miles here, turning away from that last really burned area, and I can see a few scorched trees, but we're yucking some live trees, which is nice for the shade. .13 miles. We're about 9.5 miles in, and there's a sign here. It says, for the rugged loggers of the 1920s and 30s, an assignment to the Lasco logging camp must have been coveted because it was very modern. Provided electric light and after-hours movies to 250 to 300 men here. Lasco station, called Juniper Station for a brief period, also featured a small combination passenger and freight station to serve the loggers assigned to headquarters logging camp here. Interesting. There's Dave. This has been so great. There's been nobody else out here, just me and Dave all this way so far. 6 miles in. We're at this really pretty little meadow section, and we've got Westwood Junction here. And Westwood Junction served two important functions for the logging industry and railroad. It was a starting point for the long-lived logging railroad. Started in 1920 by the Fruit Growers Supply, which was a buying arm of the Sunkist Company. Interesting. Counting the main line and the spurs, there was 50 miles of track snaked into the woods. The name Westwood Junction is an indication of the Southern Pacific's thinking when the Fernley and Lassen line was built. So they were going to have this be a junction so that the main line railroad would have gone all the way to Klamath Falls, Oregon. And then the line to the Westwood's Red River Mill would have branched from this point. Interesting. .44 miles, and we're about to cross a little dirt road, and it said Blair to the left. 15.65, and we are crossing a mostly dry stream. There's some puddles of water. I'm at 15.55 miles, and this looks like, I mean, it could be a little shack from logging, but it reminds me of like a miner's claim shack. It's definitely falling down, all dilapidated, but pretty cool. So this trail was named in honor of Harold T. Bizz Johnson, who was in the House of Representatives for California from 1958 to 1980, and apparently was instrumental in getting this Rails to Trails trail established, so it was named for him. Hi, little cutie, stay out of the trail. 16 miles in. Woohoo! We're hitting some downhill now. I don't want to go too fast though, because I don't want this ride to be over. The campground trailhead, I think it's called Gumaz Trailhead. Right, Gumaz at 17.24 miles. Was an important water stop for the Fernley and Lassen railway branch. They think it may have been named after Philip J. Gumaz, who was a native of Switzerland and came to California in 1963. We're at 17.53, really neat little rocky canyon area. Bouncy. Before, we just came out of a really pretty forested section into a burn section. Pretty shocking. 19.04. 19.27, and our view just opened up. Beautiful. I mean, despite the burn, it's just a gorgeous view here. We're at 20.75. Getting out of that major burn area and heading into some green trees again. 21.41. We're looking out over the Susan River Valley, and 21.54. We're looking out over this beautiful cattle ranch, and there's a bench right here with this view. So pretty. Going across a really neat trestle with a discontinued road bridge underneath it. I'm going to come back and film this. It's real wild. I want to get some of this trestle. So this is the Devil's Corral Trestle Bridge, which changed 5 times in less than 100 years. And the one underneath is the Lassen Volcanic Highway Bridge, which was built in 1923, and it is discontinued. It is so crumbled, it's just amazing. So here's some more of the Lassen Bridge with the Susan River flowing underneath, and just look how crumbled that thing is. Here we are looking at the Crumbly Bridge again, and there's Dave on the Crumbly Bridge. Because it's not good for road traffic, but it's okay for bikes and pedestrians. Maybe I'll dip down there and check it out too. All right, we're still screwing around with that Lassen Bridge with the Devil's Corral Trestle. And now I am on the Crumbly Bridge. Wild. And there's the Susan River far, far below. Okay, at the Devil's Corral Bridge, we just kept going straight on this dirt road, but you can see down there, there's a trail. I think that's the one we needed. You can only go maybe quarter-mile tops on this dirt road, and you'll hit a closed gate, at which point you'll realize you went the wrong way. But there is a sign up here. This is trail and points back to the way we came across the trestle, but there isn't a clear trail marker that says which way to go from here. So hopefully this one is. Just coming down, a pretty thick, squirrely gravel coming down from that Devil's Corral trestle. And this is not railroad grade, so I'm guessing. Oh, shit. Well, that was fun, and I got it on video too. Damn. Okay, what did I say about thick, squirrely gravel? It doesn't count as a crash if you don't go down. .80. We just came up out of that. We went underneath a freeway or a highway, and they are serious about no motorized vehicle. You can jump from log to log, or you can go under the barbed wire. .42, and we are going over a really pretty trestle here. And they've got reflectors on the sides. Nice smooth gravel floor. Very nice. Coming out of the tunnel and about to go across another trestle of the beautiful Susan River. crossed another trestle and we're going into tunnel number 2. This one's just a little bit longer, I think. And it's definitely cooler in here. Very nice. Our headlights are lighting the way nicely. If it was a contest, I would say Dave's headlight is brighter than my headlight. Ooh, big rock.
Oh, nice and cool.
Oh, yeah. It's really deep and slow here in this nice little canyon. Grasshopper's lip. And another little river crossing. Pretty cottonwoods in this canyon. Ooh. 28.15. .35. 29.5. There's a squirrel up ahead. Can you see this fluffy squirrel? He vanished. 30.03. And I'm crossing over these logs. Ugh. Might be easier to do off the bike. That was maybe not the best choice. We are at 30.08 at the Millers Road trailhead. And I can see cars or a train or something up ahead. We're getting really close to Susanville and to our ride back to our car where we left it in Westwood. It has been a hot, dry ride, but since we did it this way where it's mostly flat and downhill, it wasn't too bad. I still have some water left. 30.33. I think we're ending this ride at a historic railroad museum. I don't know if it will be open. But this is a really neat bridge. I see old railroads, so it makes sense. There's one last section of this rail line still here. And here we are. I don't know, I might have to talk over this because there's some construction going on, but I am at the Union Pacific Railroad Museum here in Susanville. We went 30.64 miles and we did 566 feet of elevation. And I'll have to get the temperature because I know it's in the 80s at least. It feels like 100.